Me mo bi akwaba eba Melodies TV so. You know I am a big advocate on this platform when it comes to mpenyinfoɔ leaders or more abobra writing articles and books, because personally I feel say that is how a chimba no yebe to me esua nyama bebre. Say ye mpenyinfoɔ no ehya ase say wo more tro about our history and things in this country ebeboa na aye well documented for a chimba nina ababehe. Na openyi bako afi we mabɔ na baso for saa de no pa Togbe Afede. Me say somewhere last 2 months of a true book on Ghana economy. Senior Atitia Pansan say baby are free any baby are babedu. I really praised him for that. And the Togbe Afede asanso atro bibiaba. Now this time around no, or for us to say Bank of Ghana FA Ghana for. And mind you, for people who don't know, Togbe Afede is a businessman. Keno Foyata ne company ayeka data bank no. Only Togbe Afede and a BSR company no. And so he is a big economist. What you say? Oyobia wo nim sa sector no. It was a Bank of Ghana no omo fele yen. Yanken kan yenhwe denti a worker sa. O see, it was interesting to hear Bank of Ghana officials pat themselves on the back because year-on-year inflation had dropped to 26.4% in November 2023 from 35.2% in October 2023 and 54.1% in December 2022. This trend should have been expected, I thought, because of the massive price increases and exchange rate depreciation that were recorded during the corresponding periods in 2022. It is a fallacy of year-on-year inflation numbers. They tend to be influenced a lot by what happened 1 year ago. That is why year-on-year inflation may rise in a particular month even when the general price level has fallen in that month and vice versa. Now, I'll say you cannot describe what happened to prices and exchange rate towards the end of 2022 as a blip when the effects are still with us. Now, for people to understand what Togbe Afede work we'll try to say and saying buying through the Bank of Ghana. In fact, any buying alone. Bamiaka President Akufo-Addo nso ka ho. Bank of Ghana nso ka ho. Mu ye tu no. Says inflation no. A drop ya ba somewhere about 20%. It omu di ye tu no. And Togbe Afede ka say omu friend a blip. Bronika se bibi a blip and not say ya die bi say mistake be a see ya I say ye nin that's why I see but ya ye claim this ya no ye nearby ye honso ye ni ye what I say and then ubisa broni a walk ne blip nti na MPP for send ya nyama boye de ne nyama no edian omode to no eno no blip and I Togbe Afede ka say you don't call something like that a blip something unexpected minor error be. Also, you don't call something like that a blip because the circumstances they are still with us. So why are you calling it a blip? Also, the market simply adjusted to the rot in the system. A return to the relatively lower inflation rate of the past does not mean prices have become lower. And it's therefore I explained it. Me tretremu etremu platform wiso. So muni amobekaya me tretremu tremu say. Sadia na wamoka say inflation above from no prices call from into to me can't say inflation above from into data and then it say nyamas poor aiden that be and by internet Togbe Afede eka or say prices have not become lower in nyama bo ember from still when the pure water is 50 pesos back still when the kusia back 3 cedis until then okay. Also, year-on-year inflation rate of 26.4% in November 2023 is not worthy of celebration. Zambia and Kenya, exposed to the same global shocks, recorded 12.9% and 6.8% respectively, and the US dollar is currently trading at more than 150% of its price in June 2022. But I am glad that the Bank of Ghana has finally bitten the bullet, accepting that it does not have to set its policy rate above above past inflation. After decades of insisting that its policy rate must be fixed above year-on-year changes in the consumer price index to ensure positive real returns to investors. The Bank of Ghana had, over the past several months, following the collapse of our economy, kept their policy rates below the year-on-year changes in the CPI. Maybe it was the case that they just could not set the policy rate above the recent hyperinflation rates. I see, in my December 2022 article, Our Self-Inflicted Monumental Economic Crisis, I presented my thoughts on the reasons why we Ghanaians find ourselves in this undeserved economic mess, given our massive human and material resource endowments. The Ghana we have today is obviously not what our founding fathers dreamt of. We have failed woefully, but have pretended otherwise. Instead of giving hope, our leaders have created a frightening sense of helplessness among the populace, especially the youth. Ntutie Togbe Afede nsɛm a wɔka Bank of Ghana actions bi sisia ne nyama bi a wɔn yɛ na first no no atu wɔn fo a wɔn ntie saa nsɛm ni nyinaa a ende opesa otre sɛ obviously no ohwɛ sɛ ne ɔmo founded Ghana sɛ ne ɔmo hu sɛ nanka Ghana bibia nkonkodu no enye ho ne edu enne ɔman ne ye faili na leaders ni so e faili yen. Instead of leaders no Emma Ghana for enya hope no leaders no air frighten ye with a sense of helplessness. Not just one person mo try and say oh enye yen ye de yen tumi nye na ye COVID ne Russia and na economy omo nim say omo kasa asem no ama Ghana for hu say yan kasa yen tumi manage ya economy. Inti I say they are frightening us, they are putting a sense of frightness and are frightening into us, frightening of helplessness. Also, as I said earlier, in December 2021, during a courtesy call by the Speaker of Parliament, Ghana would have filed for bankruptcy if it were a company. Into addressing Anka Ghana a company, Anka by this time you are filing for bankruptcy. So company be filing for bankruptcy. That is all addressing Charlie. A good company no a good ni sika ni na hye oni hwe. Any offend bankruptcy. Nti ye yoman ya na ki yabo ye company bi anka ye gu. I said this was effectively what we did when we went back to the IMF for bailout and implemented the domestic debt exchange program. We eventually defaulted on our debts. Holders of government bonds suffered massive losses and the outlook remains dim. To domestic debt exchange program buy yes answer nsem ni na government bonds ni omo holding ni na ende omo dachi I say we have been brought to the brink by despicably dishonest, corrupt, reckless, arrogant, and divisive leadership. And he's not mincing words. Also, omo de ya ba be du ha no. Eye mpanyifo a wo mu twantro wo mu nka ne krentre Ghana fo. Omo ye corrupt. Katahihye ne proye nti mpanyifo na edi Ghana fo so ende no. Omo twantro katahihye ne proye ahwo mu ma. Omo ya de omo nwen ho, omo ye reckless, omo mfa adwen ento nyama ho. Omo sanso eye too known, arrogant. Onim nanso no ye too known se wonim. Omo sanso ye divisive, impapemu. Omo de impapemu abrek Ghana for. And you see all he's saying, it is true. Eye no kware. Also, we are also victims of bad fiscal and monetary policies. We owe our relative peace and stability to the resilience and patience of Ghanaians. And I pray that we remain so. I know what suffering is like, and that is why I will continue to share my thoughts on our development challenges. Through Togbe Afede nsɛm a wɔka, obezo tremu say Ghana nanka on my way nanka your man bi ananka timemufo anka bebi on my nedu no nanka wo say timemufo edi ebufu sorry ema on my nebo. Na de amasa ade no ensi ene say Ghana for your nkrofo bi aye pasomdwe eno ena amasa nyama ni na no ensi. And he went on to share his article he wrote in December 2022. I'm back in country and all that. What you say? The chicken have come home to roost and all that. All those articles, no. What you say? Went on to share that. And you know, this is Togbe Afede in someone or they ababetuja, and I love that Togbe Afede is writing Ghana and him for. We nan kamenya nanko tumfo. Imagine it for imagine. So tumfo say to nanko no so ebi a quarterly. every quarter na watro article be and now book be the about bonting. Oh the book be too much article on maybe the economy and now be na Kenya of it. Kenya of it. Togbe Afede, I hope what Togbe Afede is doing and him for no who say no, it is the right thing to shape this country, and so they should also start doing that. I hope they start doing that. But won't try your comment box anymore.